Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress. I'm here with a numerology talk on the number 15. Today is September 15th, and in Linda Goodman Star Signs Numerology chapter, with the Chaldean alphabet as the guide, 15 is the number of the magician, which to me makes a little more sense than the number 4. The number in tarot for the magician is number 1. But I guess the tarot has its reasons for making number 1 the magician. 1 definitely, to me, resonates with the sun more, but here's one of those incidences where the tarot and numerology don't always go perfectly hand in hand. But nevertheless, I'm going to talk about the magician because 15 is the magician. 15 is a number of deep esoteric significance, the alchemy vibration through which all magic is manifested. It's extremely lucky and carries the essence of enchantment with it. 15 is associated with good talkers, eloquence of speech, and the gifts of music, art, and the drama. It bestows upon the person or entity represented by it a dramatic temperament and strong personal magnetism, a curiously compelling charisma. The 15 vibration is especially fortunate for obtaining money, gifts, and favors from others because of its powerful appeal to the altruistic nature of people. However, there are no roses without thorns, and the ancients warned that 15 rules the lower levels of occultism when it is associated with the single numbers 4 and 8. Such mental suggestion to carry out their purpose, or on the contrary, is true. The 4 or 8 person will become the victim of others using the same methods. Consequently, if the 15 is the birth date and the name number is 4, 13, 22, or 31, the spelling of the name should be changed to equal a compound number that reduces to the single number 1, such as 10 or 19. If the birth date is 15 and the name number is 8, 17, or 26, the spelling should be changed to equal the number 6 or 24. If the name number is 15, the person born on the 4th, 13th, 22nd, or 31st day of the month, the spelling of the name should be changed to equal 6 or 24. If the name number is 15 and the person was born on the 8th, 17th, or 26th of the name 26, the name number should be changed to equal 6 or 24. So I know that sounds a little confusing, but if you listen to some of the other readings about this numerology chapter, Linda Goodman's numerology chapter, you might understand. I did a talk on the numbers 4 and 8, Fate and Destiny, and I will post that at the end of this video, the link, so you can go to that and get more information. Other than this warning, though, the compound number 15 is extremely fortunate. If you were born on the 15th day of any month and the compound number of your name is also 15, you're blessed with the ability to bring great happiness to others and shine much light into the darkness, assuming you don't use this magical and fortunate vibration for selfish purposes. So the big theme here is if you are a 15 person, you need to use it for the good. And there are going to be lots of temptations to maybe mind wash people, I know a lot of people, I don't know if they're 15s or not, but if they do seem to have that ability to use their power of charisma to influence you. So be wary if you have that ability. Know that you acknowledge it and do your best to use it. Use your abilities only for good, for good causes. You use it for charity purposes, that kind of thing, to attract people to give to important causes. That's a good way to use that ability. All right, so I will show you the magician, and this is the traditional Rider-Waite deck. I have another one. Let me see. But you could see all the symbology of the magician. I talked about the magician before. I'm trying to remember what number that was, because it wasn't the number 1, but here's another symbol. Oh, it must have been the number 8 for the infinity symbol. Anyway, so that's a lot of power and a lot of symbology in these beautiful cards. I will also show you the Shadowscapes card. This is the deck that I like to use all the time. Okay, so the Shadowscapes definition, meaning behind the magician, is originality, creativity, skill, willpower, self-confidence, dexterity, and sleight of hand. It is about grasping the unseen around you and harnessing it to become reality, drawing forth the ineffable into the material realm of existence. So I guess that sleight of hand is a bit of trickery, but I think in general it is not meant to be deceptive. It's just meant to be to put your best foot forward, kind of, you know. I have this problem sometimes with myself, like when I'm creating something, I don't want people to see all the mistakes that go into creating it. I want them to see the final outcome, the actual creation as I've intended it to. Occasionally I will let you see the behind the scenes, how it happened, how it messed up, whatever. But I don't really want you to. I want you to see the beauty of the creation more than the process that went behind it, you know. And I mess up a lot. So anyway, I think that has something to do with the magician too. Let me read some of these other cards. So here we have the Merlin. He seems like a magician, kind of like Gandalf or someone older and wiser. This is guidance and mentorship, teacher of the old ways. When the Ancient One, the Merlin, comes forward to speak with you, you are speaking with all the knowledge in the ancient druids who have spent time in fairylands for years, many of whom remain there still, including the wise mentor and teacher Merlin. It is difficult to overestimate his depth of knowledge. His compassionate heart and his laughter. He is part fae, part human, and all wise and loving. He is a teacher who comes to you with a message that you must find a teacher who claims not to know all, but who can guide you to the knowledge hidden within your own self, which seems out of reach and obscure to you at present. It would be time to study and to be corrected when the Merlin comes to you. His guidance can feel stern to some, but because he is not always available for long periods of time, it is imperative to make each moment count when you have connected with this wise teacher. He wishes you to know that everything is your teacher, that life itself is yours to learn from, and he understands that the choices you have made led you to him for now, and that in time you will part, and that too is right and good. He is ages old, and he knows much of your wisdom, encoded in sleeping DNA, is also ages old. He gazes into his crystal orb at the end of his staff, and the wisdom of stones and their strength and support are yours to lean on. You may experience visions when scrying. When Merlin enters your world, his good humor is only matched by his determination for you to learn whichever way you choose. Those who find him a hard taskmaster are actually resisting life's lessons, and he will dissolve blocks within you regarding seeing, hearing, feeling, sensing, and even smelling the fae. Merlin has an incredible sense of smell. As Merlin is a bard, you may have been drawn to remembering and telling stories and tales of your own life at this time. And as he is a wizard, high magics will attract you. He is a guide. You will find a mentor and become a mentor in your own time. So when you see this in your reading, these are possible reasons. As he is a keeper of natural laws, you will find you are living in tune with magical cycles, and you will begin to read and know the messages for a time with such clarity that you may shock others, even yourself. Growing older need to be no block to wisdom, for you will not grow feeble or dodgery. You will know that is wise, what is wise and what is not, and the difference between what is worth your time and what is not will shine out of sharp relief. Clear, strong messages and male mentor with Merlin energy may be coming into your life at this time. Trust messages that begin to come to you, and know you are the blending of both worlds. Hearing the voices of stones, plants, water, and sky at this time. Seeing forms within nature, human forms, as that is how they can best talk to you at this time. Shape-shifting feelings, merging into that which you are most connected to. This is true and deep druid wisdom. Wisdom that is strongly connected and loved by the fairy realm. Scrying will work for you very well, and consider finding a staff. Take long walks to conduct and receive your readings and messages. Remember, Merlin is a bard, and thus he will often speak with you in riddles and rhymes. He's a cool character. So if you like this, if you're like this character, you might go out there and help others, or you might run into somebody like that. But just be aware, that they're there to teach you and help you. And don't shy away, because it'll be kind of a fun experience of learning. Let's see. Oh yes, I was going to mention that in the traditional tarot, number 15 is the devil, which has not a lot to do with magic at all, and it's about a couple and bondage, but the thing that is similar with the magician, according to Linda Goodman, is if you use your abilities and your power to enslave somebody, then that could be a way. But I believe 15 is mostly a positive number, and I personally don't believe the devil has anything to do with magic. See, a lot of people do, though. A lot of people are afraid of magic and that kind of thing. But the devil is not exactly associated with it in the way most people think. The devil only represents the material side of things, which is what we're all doing right now. When the spiritual side of things is actually the positive, and the material is the dark or the negative, basically, if you want to look at it that way. If you're so stuck in trappings and belongings and collecting things and driving your big fast cars through my neighborhood making lots of noise, that's the devil to me. That is not the Merlin or the magician who basically wants to do good for people, has powers, the ability to use them if he chooses. But most Merlins out there know that that's not part of being a true magician, or being a true witch even, is using it for bad, because there's a code out there. Let's go see the Celtic witch, and I'll explain that. And here's from the Enchanted Oracle, the Celtic witch. Do you live a life woven with magic, or do you know someone who lives such a charmed life? What would such a life look like? How do you define magic? At its most basic, magic is the application of intent to create change in the world. If it's so simple, then why don't we use all the symbols, candles, incantations, and other mystical tools and trappings? All of these things help to focus our mind and our intent. Symbols like words are filled with power, sometimes very ancient and strong power. By their nature, symbols trigger a response deep in the human psyche. They help activate our connection with power, the power inherent within us all, and the power available within the universe. You can use symbols to increase your own magic and weave it through every aspect of your life. Even mundane day-to-day activities can sparkle with magic. Sounds like a pretty nice way to experience life, doesn't it? Our Celtic witch embodies a life woven with magic. The Celts filled their lives with intricate and beautiful symbols. Behind her witch is an elaborate Celtic knot, showing the complexity and interconnectedness of the universe. It reminds us that magic is in everything. Around her head is an odd symbol that echoes another ancient magical tradition. The scarab was a symbol of creation in Egyptian magic. It is an appropriate symbol for a headpiece, signifying that the focus of her mind, she can create change in the world. She wears a pentagram representing the elements, earth, water, fire, and air, and spirit, again showing how intent, will, and harmony with spirit can influence the mundane elements. The very spiral and knot tattoos acknowledge the importance of the connectedness of all life and the cycles of nature. She carries a red candle representing passion, fire, and the mother goddess from whom all creation comes. And when this shows up in your reading, it's time to imbue your life with magic. Tap into your power. Plug into the universe. There is so much available to you. Notice signs and symbols around you. What kind of power or magic are they hinting at? How can you share that magic? Research magical and historical symbols. Discover one that represents what you're seeking and that resonates with your soul. Find ways to sprinkle that symbol throughout your life to inspire and encourage you. Draw it on a piece of paper and stick it in your mirror so that you see it every morning. Find a piece of jewelry that incorporates it. Make it cover for it in your journal that includes it. Make a cake and draw the symbol in your frosting. Do whatever you can to focus your mind and intent to help create the change and make the magic you desire. Yeah, and I also have a symbol that I still haven't got tattooed yet. Just working on divine timing, I guess. But it will happen. So this is my Celtic tree symbol, which symbolizes a special trip that I took and the spiritual journey, and it'll help keep me focused on continuing that journey and to always do good for others, use whatever abilities I have to help others. So that's basically what the magician is. And anybody that uses magic or anybody that's in the occult or is considered a witch or whatever you want to call it, the number one law is do no harm. That is the number one law. So to accuse a witch of harming, that person's not a witch. That's just an ugly person who's harming you. They might be using the occult, but they're not a witch. A true, pure witch is one that follows that rule of do no harm. And so, because people that are in that belief system who are pagans or Wiccan, they also have this similar belief, like as in karma, whatever you do will come back to you. So they're not going to do anything unless, because they know it'll come back to them. It'll come back to them 3 times as bad. So there's that belief system. So for those of you who might be afraid of all of this, there's nothing to be afraid of as long as you focus on the positive. No matter what you do in your life, even if it has nothing to do with magic, if you focus in a positive way, you're going to attract positive to you. If you focus on the negative, you're going to attract negative. If you're going to believe and perceive things as ugly and evil, then that's the way it is, It's all on your perception. So basically, I'm out here to try to help people. And I think most people have that in the base of their nature. It's that helping nature. You can see that a lot especially in hard times, when we're faced with natural disasters and all kinds of things. Then you can see the true nature of people, and then you can tell that really people deep in their heart, they're out to help and be kind and generous and loving. And suddenly they stop their ego when they start looking outward. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling now, and I hope you enjoyed that reading on the 15, the Magician, Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust.